Welcome everybody to the Baron Von Video Livecast, where we talk about storytelling, filmmaking, and science fiction. I'm your host, Baron Von Merkbach, and on this episode, we're going to be talking about criminally underseen science fiction movies. We're going to continue from our conversation last week, a couple weeks ago. And this time we're going to be looking at films from the 2000s through the 2010s. And my guest again, no better person for this, is the Anthony Lopez. Welcome, Anthony.
Hello. How are you?
Good. Ready to get through the rest of the century on this one?
Hell yeah. Sounds great. Let's do it.
Yeah, and you said that you mentioned you want to give a little shout out to the anniversary of Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, man. It's Revenge of the Fifth today.
We'll have a little conversation about that because that'll be a good way to cap it off.
Oh yeah.
We got a whole lot of films to go through.
Let's get into it. Let's go.
Yeah, okay. I just thought it might be a good thing to mention before we jump into those, that I don't know if you considered any films, but the one film that I feel I should have put on the list, and I believe it came out in the 80s, was The Hidden with Kyle MacLachlan.
The Hidden. Okay, that one I haven't even heard of. That's interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think you're in for a treat. It's a really fun. It's not trying to be anything, too heady, too super thoughtful or anything. It's just a real fun thing. And that was, I believe, it was like right before Kyle started doing Twin Peaks, I think.
Okay.
But anyway, he plays a very interesting alien character. And yeah, it's just a fun movie. So I think you'd enjoy that one. So first of all, just like last time, we'll start with the 2000s, and we'll go through the let's see, is this the right list here? Yeah. Okay, so these are the films that I think most people have seen, or enough people have seen to qualify as good science fiction films, but I think a lot of people have seen these. So I'll just go through quick. The Cell, I was going with Pitch Black, Watchmen, Donnie Darko, I, Robot, which I was surprised I liked as much as I did, Signs, District 9, of course, AI, Artificial Intelligence, which, a lot of people were kind of so on it. I thought it was tremendous.
Yeah. See, same. I loved it too. So
yeah, I actually think it's borderline masterpiece by Spielberg. I just thought it hit everything just right. Was a little bit long, but I didn't mind it. Yeah, I loved it. And then he does Minority Report and War of the Worlds, all in the 2000s. He was on a roll there. And of course, Avatar, which again I liked quite a bit. Didn't care for the way it ended, but overall, really thought it was something special. And we can talk another time about the sequel, which I did not care for, but we'll talk about that another time.
I haven't even seen it, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Not Avatar for me, I appreciate it, but I haven't seen it since I saw it in the theaters. So
the original
did not have, it doesn't have that staying power. I'm not ever sitting there wondering or thinking about Avatar, or hey, maybe I should pop this in. I don't know. Is that the same for you, or how do you feel about that in terms of?
No, yeah, that's a That's an interesting point. I never thought about that. Yeah, it's not like some of these other ones where, yeah,
Yeah,
you know, like your favorites you've seen probably, you know,
right.
6, 7, 8, 10
Multiple,
times, right?
right. Exactly. Countless, you know.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, it's not as rewatchable as you know. I find many of Cameron's films very rewatchable,
Oh
and
yeah.
this one, yeah, not quite as much.
Right.
But it was a good one, the first one. Okay, let's get into this one.
All right.
Have you seen this
Rain
Rain
of Fire.
Fire?
No. Although
Ah,
I know my sister-in-law is a big fan of this movie. She was always trying to get me to watch it. And I was like, no, I'm good.
yeah, I know, I know.
You know,
Yeah,
I don't know. It
it's
just
not-
didn't like, it seems like something I would like, but I think at that time, maybe it was the marketing or something. It just didn't, it looked really cheesy. And so I was kind of like, ah. But it is on my list. I definitely want to check it out, especially after you mentioned it. So,
yeah. I don't remember. I don't remember when this thing first came out. I think I just like stumbled upon it, you know, looking
yeah.
on Netflix or Amazon or something, and it was like, holy moly, Christian Bale and Matthew McConaughey, and I've never heard of this film. What the hell is this? And yeah, I
Right.
was pleasantly surprised. Yeah, it's not you know, it's as much fantasy as science fiction, but it did I think it you know, portrayed a believable, you know, you know, post-apocalyptic world, you know, scenario. So it definitely qualified as science
Is
fiction.
the premise like dragons come back, or what's the catalyst
It's
that kind of,
pretty interesting. I don't want to tell you too
okay.
much about it. It's pretty interesting how they explain, yeah, where the dragons came from, you know, and yeah, how did they, you know,
It's like
take
some
over the
kind of
world? That's not really.
experiment, or is that where the science fiction element comes in, or
Yeah, a little bit. And again, the kind of society you know, you would have with, you know, some modern technology, but basically, you know, thrown back to the Stone Ages. You know.
okay.
Yeah, pretty interesting. Definitely well worth the watch. And yeah, it's got a good balance. It's not
Is
all
it
action.
is it better than Battlefield Earth?
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, yeah. Yeah, if we could do, yeah, a real quick side take
Real quick.
on Battlefield Earth. I didn't think it was a horrible movie, except for John Travolta's performance was
He was on something.
inexplicably terrible.
He was
Just
on something. Yeah, man. It was
just
crazy.
terrible. Because the overall plot and pacing and ideas and stuff, I thought were
Mhm.
pretty solid.
Right.
The visuals, for the most part, were pretty solid. But yeah, whoa, man, that, and you know, he's the second main character, so that yeah,
Right.
brought it down. Okay, this one, I
Okay.
don't understand. A lot of people did not like this movie. The few that have seen it, and I can't for the life of me understand why. I thought it was pretty solid all the way around.
Really? See, I saw this in theaters because
Me
I
too.
was excited, and I don't know. I haven't seen it since then. So when did this come out? Like 2004. It was pretty early 2000s. But yeah, I haven't seen it since then. But I think at that time I was kind of so about it. I mean, the action was nice, but I didn't think it had the same impact as the first one, just for me. Like I liked that pitch black, like
Yeah.
more survival horror aspect of it rather than this was a little bit more adventure, you know, like Star Warsy in a way. But
Yes, definitely. Yeah. I can see where people might have been a little put off. The people that enjoyed Pitch Black, which I did too, quite a bit, and they just went, you know, epic scope on it. So I could see where that might turn some people off. It's like, hey, it's Vin Diesel, man. What is this? Triple X in space or something?
Right.
I kind of get it, but I found it pretty enjoyable, and not a great science fiction movie, but I thought it was pretty solid. So yeah, might be worth a rewatch.
A rewatch, yeah, for sure. I love that it has Tandy Newton in there.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that. So was this kind of like a smaller part? I don't know. Like I said, I have to revisit it. I don't really even remember who's in it. I knew that who was in it? Judi Dench, I think. Wasn't she pretty prominent? I'm trying to remember. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. She has that. Yeah, Fanny Newton makes a great femme fatale.
Oh right. Yeah, here we go. Yeah.
Yeah, this was, and I would have thought with the rabid fan base for this series. I didn't see the series until for the first time maybe 5-6 years ago. I had never seen it, and wow, I actually finally saw it and thought, wow, yeah, that was solid.
It's great.
So I was surprised that this didn't do very well at all, and I thought it was, really, really well done.
It's fantastic. Even if you're not a fan, like
exactly.
I was a fan before, and I was one of those that was upset when they canceled the series. And then when this was announced and funded and all that, and they were going to bring it out, I actually took my wife to it. We were just like newly married at that point. She knew nothing about the show, I was just like, okay, I think this is going to be great. Let's watch it. And she loved it. And then, of course, I took her to watch the show afterwards, and she loves the show. You know what I mean? So like it just was like, it's great. Yeah. I don't know. I have no complaints. And everyone I mention it to, they're always like, oh, I didn't know they had a movie. Cause sometimes they'll know about the show or vice versa. They'll know about the movie, but not the show. And it's like, you got to watch both to get the full, experience. But yeah, this one's great.
Yeah. Very, very underrated. Children of Men.
Okay.
Another movie. I think for the most part, it was very well reviewed. It's well regarded for the people who've seen it, but just so few people have actually seen it. I didn't like it as much as a lot of people did. I felt it was a little one note, throughout.
Yeah, I get that.
Still, very, very solid movie, and some of the cinematography is just.
Oh yeah, and you could argue, just to play devil's advocate for a second, because I love this movie. It's delightfully disturbing, but in some ways, like I think it may have been a little better if they didn't do the one shot gimmick. I mean, it's cool, and I think it's great the way they did that, and it's expertly planned out. And I think Alfonso Cuarón is a great filmmaker, but there's a part of me that's like, I kind of wish it was a little bit more conventionally shot, because then I can think we can get a little bit more time, with the characters, a little bit more personal, rather than everything being so like expertly choreographed.
Yeah, very technically, very, very astonishing. But you're right. It almost seems out of place, because the story ultimately is very intimate, very
right.
A very personal kind of journey, and then they go into these admittedly very spectacular single shots. I mean, the guy loves his single shots, I guess.
Right. Well, did he do the same with Gravity? I don't remember if that one was.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Was it one shot too? Okay.
Well, I mean, not the whole thing, but he had a number.
Okay, so there was some extended. Yeah. Okay.
Right, and
right.
Do you remember when Gravity came out?
I'm trying to remember. I feel like it was after 2010.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because it was after this one.
Remember, we'll find out after I get through this. I think I put Gravity on a film that I still think it was a good film. I didn't like it as much as a lot of people did, but still a solid film, and I'm pretty sure it's on
Yeah.
my list of the 2010s
Oh
for
yeah, it's 2013.
that maybe that I think a lot of people have seen, so it wouldn't be a criminally underseen, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
And yeah, we've talked about this before. To
Talked about
me,
this. Yeah.
this got to be in the top two or three most criminally
Oh yeah. I would
underseen and
I would put
underrated.
this, yeah, up there with like Dark City, honestly, in terms of just the level of, yeah, like you were saying, just underseen, like Dark City and The Fountain, like, come on.
And right, I mean, in Dark City, I don't quite understand the disconnect with the audience. I can understand some people just finding this a little too, maybe a little bit too cerebral, a little too hard to
Yeah,
kind of wrap your head around. So I understand that.
for
To me,
sure. Yeah,
that was the thing that I thought he did so well, is he got really, I mean, classic science fiction, blow your brains out kind of
right.
ideas. And to my mind, he actually pulled it off.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, let's talk about the visuals too for a second. I mean, this movie, you feel like when you look at any still shot or even any shot from the trailer, and you're like, that is some magnificent CGI. But what you don't know is that this was all actually shot, and the way they got it was by uh, like a process under a microscope, right? Like actually filming like these chemical reactions, and like it's insane. Like everything they did is an actual
Organic, yeah, it's
yeah,
completely organic.
it's
Yeah,
like
I don't think that I don't think that they had to shoot stuff under a microscope. Very very close, but anyway, yeah. Every single thing was, yeah, an
right,
actual organic image that you're watching. Yeah,
right,
yeah,
right, right. It's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah, right. And that's just, yeah, one very cool aspect. To me, it's the best thing performance wise I've ever seen. Hugh Jackson do.
Yeah, Jackman.
Jackman. Yeah, and Rachel Weisz is always
I
good.
mean, she's always great.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, he's great in this. Yeah. I mean, this is one of my favorites of his. I'm trying to think of, I mean, obviously besides Wolverine, but um yeah, and the fact that it takes place in three separate time periods, I think is great. Um you've got it just has everything in it. I guess it's in some ways it's similar to AI, artificial intelligence, in that way, where it's kind of split up into three distinct acts, I guess, but it's just done in a way where you're like, oh man, like you're on this ride. Like nothing is explained for you necessarily. Nothing is, you're not being held by the hand. You're just kind of like invited to just go on this journey. And it's like you either like it or you don't. But I feel like even if you don't like what's happening, maybe story wise, I feel like visually you're gonna be, you know, pretty
Yeah,
impressed.
yeah. I think it would be hard to come away without, like,
Yeah.
experiencing, because it's like an experience, right? I mean,
Oh
some of
yeah.
the stuff is just with the music. He's always been terrific at combining very strong, dramatic music with his visuals.
Yep.
Um, but exactly, it's interesting. You mentioned something about the three act, and I wonder if that's a common denominator for the average theater goer, that perhaps they don't want to have to work so hard to figure it out. But then that doesn't explain in Inception, which did you know
No.
did pretty darn well.
Right.
Very very well regarded, and that's about as complicated as you can possibly
Right.
get.
And you can even argue that it is split up in a similar fashion. It's very And I don't mean to say that like normal viewers and normal people don't like 3 acts. I think just the way it's integrated and the way it is specifically both visually, you know, audio wise, each act is very different, right? Like it's like you know, you can see the switch. Whereas I think in normal films, I mean, obviously I think the 3 act structure is important to have, but it's not as overtly jarring, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's not as clear cut.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But I like that aspect about specifically this movie, and then AI, and I think Inception has a bit of that too.
Tremendous film. Again, it's like we mentioned Dark City. If you didn't see the last live cast, go watch Dark City. You will not be sorry you did. And I would say the same with this movie. I can't imagine anybody thinking, you know, you may not like it as much as we did, but I can't imagine you wouldn't go, man, I'm sure glad I watched that. Yeah.
Right.
And speaking of Christopher Nolan, The Prestige.
Speaking of Hugh Jackman too, I forgot he was in this.
Yeah, I know. I just put I would put when I put these things together. I didn't do it like chronologically, like I should have, I suppose. I just kind of threw them together, and Hugh Jackman just happened to pop up.
I mean, he was having a fantastic couple of years, really, when you think about it. Like he was just at the top of his game.
Yeah, and this movie in some respects I like better than Inception, and I like Inception a whole lot.
Yeah, I agree. There's something about this movie. I remember I was still in film school when this came out, and there was another movie. Do you remember? It was called The Illusionist. Came out about the same time.
Right, with
Edward Norton.
Edward Norton.
Yeah, and I think who else was in it? I remember Edward Norton, but that's about it. But all of my peers liked that movie better, and nobody was talking about how great The Prestige was. And I was like, God, I love The Prestige. It was so weird. Like I felt like an outlier, and I was like, God, this movie's so great. Like, why are people not? And it was just kind of a bizarre thing. But at that time, I don't know if that's still the case now, because I feel like I haven't heard anybody talking about The Illusionist. But I do hear people talk about The Prestige a lot still. So I don't even know who did the other one.
Do you remember how closely those films? It seemed like they came out with like in the year.
It had to have been it was definitely in the same year, but I think it was maybe a month or two apart, something like that. It was pretty close.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe for some viewers they just felt like it was too much of the same kind of thing. I don't know, but yeah,
maybe
utterly completely different movies. The Illusionist is a very well done, not as good as this, but it was a very well done drama. This is straight up science fiction.
Oh yeah.
Even though it's set in earlier times, and of course you can see right there. I swear I saw this in the theater, and the first few times that Nikola Tesla shows up, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know it was David Bowie.
Really?
I don't know why. And then as soon as you saw the close up and the two colored eyes, holy shit, it's David Bowie. I mean, yeah, he wasn't, doesn't have a very large part screen time wise, but plays obviously an integral role in the character, and he just nailed it. He had the accent. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it was
love this movie.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Okay, here's an independent movie that I think if you're a science fiction fan, you've heard of this. But if you're not a science fiction fan, I think a lot of people haven't even heard of this movie. And it's not like a tremendous movie, but it's really solid for it's a small independent movie, but it doesn't feel like a small independent movie. It's
cool.
It's quite well done. And
I've heard of this, but again, I have not seen it,
yeah,
and I definitely want to see it.
yeah,
Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell. Yeah,
Who do you know who directed? Or
I can't remember the guy, and I'm not sure. I would think he's done something since Moon, but I just don't know. I can't quite remember. Well, yeah, maybe I'll look into that.
all right, let's see.
But yeah, very worth seeing, and yeah, you'd be surprised for a small budget movie, um, how you know how it seems like a more mainstream, bigger budget movie. So that it's got that going for it too.
Yeah. Oh, Duncan
Now, this
Jones.
one, I wasn't sure how many people have seen this, and I looked back. I look at the box office for a lot of these films. I think this is one of those. A lot of people have heard of it, but it didn't do very well, and I actually don't know that many people who have actually seen it. They've heard about it, but they haven't seen it.
Yeah, just to go back on the other one, Duncan Jones did Moon.
Oh, Duncan Jones. Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done a few.
So some of his other movies are Source Code, which I actually really liked Source Code. And I didn't see Warcraft. But
Yeah, Warcraft was
um,
okay. It was okay. Yeah.
and then what is so The Mist is that's Stephen King, right? I didn't realize it was a movie. I thought it was like a mini series or something.
They did they do a miniseries? Yeah, I think they did do a miniseries, which I didn't even bother to watch. I heard it was really bad, and it's ridiculous. They try to take something and stretch it out. This is
Oh, okay.
this is a novella by Stephen King. I think it's like 30, 40 pages. So
Oh, okay. So pretty
to
short. Okay.
me, a novella is like the perfect length for a
Perfect.
movie. You,
Yeah,
you
for
try
sure.
adapting an entire novel, and you get into a lot of trouble. This
Right.
is like the perfect thing, and it differs in many ways from the novella, but it keeps the feeling of the isolation and stuff from the novella very well. I mean, I love Thomas Jane. I think he's so underrated, and
Yeah.
a lot of people have. I don't know if you heard about how this ends.
No. Is it I
Oh
don't want to
yeah,
know too much. Is it like
good.
okay.
Yeah, you should know. A lot of
I should-
people did not like the ending. I thought it was
Okay.
so smart how they ended it. So
Okay.
yeah. Don't
Yeah, this is
find out before you see it. Don't find out how it
don't
ends.
find out. Okay. This is directed by Frank Darabont, by the way. So
Yeah,
he's already done some really good
yeah.
Stephen
I
King
think he
stuff.
started. I think he started working on The Walking Dead right after this. And did Darabont write the Dead Zone, or am I? Is that I can't
Um
remember.
he did, let's see, so Shawshank and then Green Mile. I don't think he did Dead Zone. Let me see.
Yeah, because Dead Zone I consider one of the best Stephen King, uh, adaptations.
Yeah. I remember I did watch the movie and then to me, I liked the show a lot better too. I don't know if you watched the show, but
Never saw the show. So it was a good show, huh?
the show was great. Yeah. I loved it.
Good. Yeah, I might check that out. And of course, it's hard to get better than Christopher Walken as
That's
your
true.
lead.
Right.
Where he became a caricature of himself.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the sequel to Ghost in the Shell, the animated film. And this one, have you seen it?
No, not this one. I've only seen the first.
Yeah, it doesn't work. as well as the original, and it's a little too mystical, esoteric, for I think for a lot of people's taste. But holy jeez, is this movie gorgeous? I mean, I mean, it's just one of the prettiest, you know, animation you'll ever see.
Nice.
Yeah,
This looks great right here. This shot.
yeah, and it gets into some very, very heady stuff about what is consciousness, what does it mean to be, alive, and yeah,
Yeah.
the whole thing. It maybe gets a little too, a little too heady, but
Yeah.
still so worth seeing. And again, it's easily one of the most beautiful animated films I think that's ever been made. So
That's
it's
awesome.
worth seeing on that count alone.
Cool.
All right, this is another one that for the people who have seen it, I think this is a pretty divisive Terry Gilliam film because it's obviously most like Brazil. So I think a lot of people that saw it maybe thought it was too much alike. I'm not sure, but I thought it was. It's not as good as Brazil, but I thought it was very worth seeing, and I'm surprised it didn't do better.
Yeah. I wanted to see it, but yeah, I never got a chance to when it came out. It looked really interesting, and I love Christoph Waltz.
Yeah.
So, and then of course the Terry Gilliam, that and the combination of Terry Gilliam, I was like, God, this is going to be great. But then I started hearing kind of like not so good things, so I was like, oh, okay, maybe I'll wait. And then I never got around to it, but I still want to see it a lot. I
Yeah,
mean,
same thing. I had the exact same experience. I'd heard that it was just didn't really work, and tonally it shifts. It gets
yeah,
real, like it really probing some very deep philosophical ideas. Classic science fiction, and then it'll just go into weird Terry Gilliam strangeness time. So
right,
I think for a lot of people, just tonally, it was a little bit too all over the place. But I thought it was solid. Not he didn't completely stick the landing, but very worth seeing. And again, if you're a Gillian fan, the visuals are, of course, just just fun for the eyeballs.
right.
Yeah, and Christopher Waltz is yeah, really solid in this. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, of course, right. What was that one other movie he did? God, he did it with Heath Ledger, and then he cast like 3 other people to finish the movie.
What was the genre?
Um, I feel like it was science fiction. Maybe it was more fantasy, but it was Terry Gilliam. It was right before this one, I think. Oh,
Oh,
wait.
the one about the guy with the
The
traveling.
Imaginarium of
Oh yeah,
Dr.
the
Parnassus, right?
Imaginarium of
Yeah.
somebody Pandora. Yeah,
Dr. Parnassus. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
got it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I like that. I didn't think it was
Really?
really
Okay.
good. I didn't think it was
Yeah.
really good, but I enjoyed it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I get a lot of polarizing remarks about that one too, because I wanted to like it, but I didn't. I think it was just too like, with all the different actors jumping in and out. I liked that he at least wanted to finish the movie, but it felt too
Yeah.
uh just choppy for me. But
Yeah, not one of his strongest, but I'll take a mediocre Terry Gilliam movie over a whole lot of
that's true. Yeah.
but
All
yeah.
right, we can move on.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Now,
Yes.
this one, yeah, I can see where this one's a little polarizing. I don't think it's a really good movie, but I thought it was a very solid movie, and you know, communicated some interesting science fiction ideas in a unique way, and yeah, Jim Carrey was quite good in this. I thought it was way better in this than
Yeah.
what was the one where he's living in the dome.
Oh, Truman Show.
The Truman Show. Yeah, I thought the Truman Show was way overrated.
Oh yeah.
That didn't hit it for me. I mean,
Okay.
but
See, this one I love. Like I
yeah.
watch this one. I try and watch it at least once every year because it's so like
Oh, so it's a
it's
favorite.
so oh yeah, it's
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah, yeah. I love it.
yeah.
I
It deserves to be. It deserves to be
yeah,
seen more widely. Yeah, for sure.
for sure. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Yeah. And then of course, who was the Charlie Kaufman
Yeah.
screenplay, and then Michel Gondry, the French filmmaker, was the director, and he's done some other stuff. I've seen like one of his other films, and I didn't like it as much as this one, but I feel like after this, he was trying to kind of replicate the formula or the success of it, right, without actually putting the heart and all that into it. That I think,
Oh, okay. So you followed this director. Yeah, I couldn't
yeah, yeah, yeah,
remember if I'd seen anything before or since. I didn't follow the director of this one.
yeah. But you're familiar with like Being John Malkovich and
Yeah, I didn't care for
adaptation.
that.
You didn't like that one?
Well, I know a lot of people, yeah, love that one, and it's got a,
Yeah,
I can get it for the kind of a cult kind of a thing, kind of a
right.
kitschy sort of thing. Yeah, to me, it just did not. It didn't work for me at all. I
Okay.
actively disliked being John Malkovich. It's just,
Really? Okay, okay.
what are you doing?
Interesting. All
What kind of a story is this?
right.
It didn't click with me at all. Yeah.
Okay.
Equilibrium.
Yeah.
Fun little kind of science fiction spy-ish, 007 kind of style
Yeah.
movie. And yeah,
James
I
Bond
thought it was
meets the
really solid.
Matrix. Yeah. Yeah, I'd call it James Bond meets the Matrix.
Yeah.
Because it really, it's cool. And I think it was after, right? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, it was definitely after.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember how far after. Oh, 2002. So actually not too far after.
It was probably in the works
Yeah,
before
for sure.
Maker came out, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, and it's with
I
Christian
don't
Bale too.
know.
Yeah.
I think this is just another one of those films that it was never really marketed very well, and I just people just haven't heard of this movie. It's not one
Right.
they've heard of it and they'll get around to watching it. They just flat out haven't heard of this one.
Just haven't heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's solid.
It's solid.
Christian,
Yeah, yeah,
Christian Bale's like always good.
yeah, for sure. And then oh yeah, this has Tay Diggs too. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta rewatch this.
Sam Rockwell. I
It's
love Sam Rockwell in this. Now, this one
wait,
from this is my impression when it came out. I
mhm.
hesitated to see it because I liked the book, but I wasn't crazy about it like some people are. It was fun. It was funny, but when I read science
Yeah,
fiction, I kind of want a more serious story. So I enjoyed the book okay. So when this came out, I thought, I don't know. And then I heard that a lot of people disliked it for whatever reason, that it didn't follow the book over here and it didn't bring this character in. And how some people
yeah,
that are really invested in the book, they just gets like, it's not like the book. So I don't remember enough about the details to comment on how closely it follows the book, but I just thought it was a fun little movie with some terrific performances.
yeah. I saw this when it came out, and I was underwhelmed.
Underwhelmed, yeah.
I thought like my issue was it wasn't quite maybe it's just a really nitpicky thing, but it wasn't quite like British enough. It didn't quite have that kind of dry humor that I was kind of. It was a little bit trying to be a little bit more over the top. I'm trying to remember when did this one come out actually.
About mid-2000s.
Some of the, I don't know. Do 2005? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So I don't know.
Yeah, I can.
Oh, now I'm remembering who. Oh God, the lady in that. I did not like her at all. That's right, Zoe Deschanel.
Oh,
the main woman. I was like, oh my God. Oh yeah, and then Martin Freeman plays the dude. Okay, he was pretty cool.
Yeah, he was good.
I don't remember Sam Rockwell. Is that crazy? Who did he play?
Yeah, with the long hair, and he had the heads, and
Really? Okay, maybe I need to rewatch that.
Yeah, Sam
I
Rockwell.
remember the song. Like the song was pretty funny. Like the dolphins singing about like so long or whatever. Like
Thanks
I remember that.
fish.
But yeah, I don't mind comedic science fiction. I think if it works well, like one of my favorites is Galaxy Quest. I think we talked about this, but maybe not. But I love, I kind of love that kind of stuff, but it just depends too.
Yeah.
This was, I don't know, maybe I need to rewatch it, but
my expectations were very low, so I was pleasantly surprised. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
But I think for the entire experience, I think it's definitely worth watching it. If you haven't seen it, and I don't know, maybe you don't want to bother rewatching it, but maybe when you get a chance, take a look at it and see if you like it a little bit better. I don't think it's a really good movie, but I think it's definitely worth watching.
Okay.
Have you seen this one?
I have heard of it. No, I haven't watched it. I actually didn't realize this was science fiction.
Yeah, very. I mean, it's a science fiction idea because it's sort of time travel.
Okay.
There's definitely a time travel element to it. It doesn't. It comes across as pretty much a regular drama, but it's definitely science fiction ideas going on. And I thought this was quite well done. Keep you guessing, and you're not sure where things are going, and it's a good it's a good thriller kind of movie. So if you're into that kind of thing, definitely worth seeing. And I don't know anybody who's seen it.
Oh really?
I mean, yeah,
Tony Scott.
I know everybody. My circle of people I interact with all the time is not gigantic, but I just don't know too many people see it. It's not one of these movies that I think it kind of came and went, and I don't know why it wasn't supported with marketing or whatever. Because this is another one of those. When it came out, I saw it on one of the streaming services and thought, well, maybe this looks interesting. It was like, man, how come I've never heard of this one? So,
right.
I thought it was solid.
Well, it's directed by Tony Scott too, so that's not.
Tony. Yeah, he knows slouch.
It's got a bunch of people in it too, like Val Kilmer. It's got Bruce Greenwood. Let's see. It's got a bunch of actors, so that's cool. Okay, Jim Caviezel.
Very, very well done.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you gotta check it out. What is this on? Oh, okay. Let's see. Stars. I don't have stars.
Viggo Mortensen. This is
The Road. Okay.
This is not a pleasant movie to watch.
Pleasant. No.
But I think it deserved to be considered, and I thought it was very, very well done. I'm not particularly excited about rewatching it because it's this is not giving anything away, but it's a pretty grim post-apocalyptic story. But it was very, very well done. So I think it deserves to be on the list. And I
Cool.
never read the book, so I don't know, how closely the vibe is to McCormick. But yeah, I thought it was well done.
Cool.
The Machinist. Here's another Christian Bale movie.
Yeah. What is it with Christian Bale? So he's got like, what is it, the third on? Well, he's fourth now, right, on your list.
Yeah.
There's
Rain of Fire. That's it. Yeah.
Prestige too, right? Yeah. Jeez.
And this one, I think it seems to be more well known for how much Christian Bale, lost 60 pounds or whatever it was for the role. And then I think he did the first or the second Batman like a year later. So he had to, get, not just normal, but he had to get buff, something like that. But yeah, I mean, it's shocking when you see him without his shirt on. It's like you think it's an effect, but it's not. I mean, he might be like, sucking in his stomach even more, but I mean, the dude is skeletal in this. And at first, like I said, it's kind of jarring. Not enough to take you out of the story, but it's just like, holy geez, what happened? What happened to him?
Yeah, it's like, is he okay?
Yeah. What happened to him?
Well, it was funny because he was talking about that on now. I mean, obviously he's considerably older, like he can't kind of do this anymore. Because they were asking him to I think bulk up for what did he do recently? It was it was the Thor movie, I think. Thor something.
He plays the villain.
And yeah, he was like, there's no way I'm gonna compete with Chris Hemsworth. Like, there's no point in, like, I mean, he looks good in it. It's not like he's like out of shape or anything. Like, he still looks great, but he's not, he's obviously at a point where it's like he doesn't have to like jack himself up, like, to like be in this type of role anymore, which is kind of cool. And I don't know if he's lost weight like this drastically.
I can't imagine. I can't think of any other actor, well-known actor transformation that's this severe. And the movie is not it's not a great movie, but for a fairly low budget movie, it's pretty solid. I don't want to give anybody the impression that this is like one of his better movies, because it's not. But it definitely is worth seeing. And again, it's just the you just can't get past the transformation of his body is just astonishing.
That's crazy. Did he get nominated for this or anything, or was it just?
I don't think so. It wasn't really that kind of a role.
Okay.
So anyway.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I gotta check it out.
V for Vendetta.
Oh yeah.
The Wachowskis
love this.
Did good by this one. And I think we have both read the graphic novel.
Yeah, big fan. Yep.
Yeah, big fan of it, and I can't imagine it being much better done. It was solid through and through.
It was solid. Yeah.
Hugo Weaving.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I'm not sure if I heard this correctly, but my understanding is that the original actor to play V was the guy just couldn't hang with acting with the mask on his face, and he just couldn't get it. So they had to replace him with Hugo Weaving, and now it's like
you can't even imagine it without him.
Anybody else? Yeah, he was remarkable.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah,
very, very, very good.
Yep.
Pandorum. If you like horror and outer space movies, this is a good one.
Yeah, I actually did watch this one, and it was creepy as hell.
Yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
did. Yeah, I liked it. It was good.
For a little scene thriller, yeah, definitely punches up.
Yep.
Okay, so the 2010s. These are the ones that most people have. Well, most people, a lot of people have seen, even if you're not science fiction fans. Inception, The Martian, which I talked about briefly. I liked the novel less than I liked the movie. Arrival, Ex Machina, Gravity. There's Gravity.
Yep.
Interstellar, which a little bit of a misfire for me.
Yeah.
Blade Runner 2049, fantastic. Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I was surprised at how solid that was. And I know you didn't like this, but I thought it deserved. I thought it was one of the better Star Trek movies, even though it had some issues. And then the Hunger Games, I also was not expecting to care for, and I thought it was pretty solid. So
Yeah. Hunger
those are
Games
the
is great.
ones that I think most people are familiar with. And here's the ones that I think most people either haven't seen or got slammed for some reason. Ender's Game.
Yeah, I didn't
This
see that one.
bombed. This bombed
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah. I
And
actually,
I don't understand it because I really like the book.
yeah,
And
I
this,
read the book too.
you
Yeah.
can't do the book in a movie, in a 2 hour movie. You
Yeah.
can't. So you have to like find a track. And
Right.
I thought the movie did a good job of finding the main points without being able to get into all of the stuff that the book does.
Yeah, I didn't see the movie either. I just had no interest. Like I remember reading the book when I was a kid, but the movie just looked so, I don't know. There's something about it I just didn't
Oh,
gravitate
really?
towards it.
Yeah,
And I think
I
they were
encourage you
pretty,
to check it out.
yeah,
Again, I was surprised at how it got panned and just kind of just brushed off as like, that was a stupid idea.
right, right.
You're trying to do Ender's Game. You can't do Ender's Game. It's kind of like the same
It was
conversation.
sort of like, yeah,
Dune.
yeah, yeah. People
Like
were
you can't
saying, yeah,
really
like
do it
it's
justice.
like, yeah, it's like unfilmable or whatever, right?
Right. You
Um,
just can't get into the whole thing. And Um, uh, this is a slight side track here, but you've read Ender's Game. Did you read the sequel, Speaker for the Dead?
no,
Oh, better than Ender's Game, in my opinion.
really?
Yeah,
Okay.
they both won the Nebula and
Yeah.
the Hugo, perhaps too.
Okay.
So yeah, and to my mind, Speaker for the, now you can't have the sequel without having the original. So the original
Yeah.
sets up what Speaker for the Dead then takes it to. So, oh yeah, dude, you got to
Okay.
if you really like this, I think you're gonna love Speaker for the Dead.
Okay. Yeah.
Her, this is a quiet little movie that came and went, and nobody saw.
Right.
Um,
This was another one I was interested in seeing, but for whatever reason, I didn't get around to it.
yeah, it's not it's a pretty slow movie, but it has a charm to it, and Scarlett Johansson is the voice of the of the
Oh,
AI. You know,
okay.
yeah, it's pretty sweet. It's a sweet movie, but gets into obviously some more heady stuff about what it would be like to have a relationship with an artificial person.
Right.
But yeah, it's a good little movie. Deserves to be seen.
It's cool.
Edge of Tomorrow. Even though this is a Tom Cruise movie, I think this my strong impression. I again looked at the box office. Didn't do particularly well. It didn't bomb, but it didn't do well at all. And a lot of people I know have heard tell of this movie, but haven't actually seen it. And I thought it was really good. It kind of gets into the super action finale syndrome, a little bit. but it's a solid movie, very thoughtful, and a very good, uh, time travel-ish type of concept. Very, very well done.
Cool.
Here's another time.
Predestination. This
Kind
one I haven't even heard of.
Yeah, I know a lot of people haven't. Smaller budget movie, still very. I think it swings way above its weight, and it's pretty solid. Yeah, Ethan Hawke is yeah, quite good. One of his better performances, in my opinion. It's a good one. Under the Skin. Now, I can understand why some people didn't particularly care for this movie because it's very strange. It's just a very odd movie, but it's worth seeing because of visually it's astounding in some cases. What this guy, I can't remember the director's name. Do you remember the director of this?
No, this is another one that's on my list. It was recommended to me actually a few years ago, and I've been wanting to see it ever since. Let me see. Oh,
Yeah.
Jonathan Glazer.
Yeah, for a small budget film, visually, it's amazing in spots. The story is it's kind of very detached. So I can see where some people would feel it just feels a little cold or something,
Yeah.
But and I had some issues with certain aspects of it, but overall, this is definitely worth seeing because it's just very unique. Yeah, very very unusual. Kind of a
She's like an alien, right, or something that
yeah
takes the forms of.
She is an alien, and yeah, she needs other human beings to. Well, I'm not going to say too much more about it. But she needs
Just watch it. Like, is it like one of those where it's like the less you know, the better?
Yeah. I think even if you know the basic premise, it's still it's still an interesting experience to watch this. Even if you know some things about it, I think you'll be surprised. Could not be everybody's cup of tea for sure, but I think it's definitely worth seeing. Snowpiercer. Now, I think more people know the series that came out, and I don't know if that's still going or not.
No idea.
Not too many people I know have seen the movie upon which the series was based, and this was what's his name?
Bong Joon-ho.
Yeah, Bong Joon-ho.
Yeah. This is one I haven't seen, but I've liked most of his other films. Like I've seen The Host. I don't know if you saw that one.
Yep. Yeah.
Okja, which was on Netflix.
The
one with the super pig. Really?
Okay. I didn't care for Parasite either.
Oh yeah, you didn't like Parasite. That's right.
Yeah,
oh my god, I love.
Yeah, let me qualify that. I shouldn't say I didn't dislike it. I just thought that the setup it just I don't know the payoff wasn't enough for me. I just thought it was like a fantastic setup that didn't go in a place that I thought was very satisfying. So overall, I thought it was Parasite was definitely it was a good movie, but I didn't like it nearly as much as everybody else. And that it won the Oscar was
really
I don't get it. Best film of the year. Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah. So good. It was so good.
Oh, you're in that camp that
I'm in the camp of like, man, it was so like to me it was like a Hitchcock movie. Like it just felt so like I was all aboard, you know what I mean? Like so
yeah, and a lot of people were. Yeah, for me it was a bit of a swing and a miss, worthy effort, but I thought this was a better overall story. But that's just my opinion. Yeah, and if you haven't seen it, yeah, you're in for a good one. This is a good one. Skyline. This is, it's very, very derivative. There's no denying, but I think it has its own vibe to it, and I was surprised at how much I liked it. For a clearly alien invasion movie you've seen a million times before, I thought they put enough of a unique spin on it that it's definitely worth seeing if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I haven't seen this one. Again, it was like, I feel like it came and went.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember some friends of mine were going to see it, and I was just kind of like, okay, cool.
Yeah,
and they were like, it was okay, but like I didn't hear anybody raving about it, so I was just kind of like, all right, I guess I'll.
Yeah. I think that, I mean, that does make a difference for me when I I think I saw this pop up in whatever streaming thing is like a recommended thing. I must have passed it by a dozen times. It's like, oh, that looks lame.
Right.
And then I finally thought, well, I'll watch it. And it was like, so that may be coloring my impression of it, but I still saw it again or a second time, and I thought, no, I thought it was pretty decent. Not not anything super special, but definitely worth seeing in my opinion.
All right.
And this is the movie I told you about.
Here we go. Yeah, I gotta watch it.
This is not a great movie, but it has enough unique qualities that I think it's definitely worth seeing, and if it clicks with you, I think you'll really enjoy it. Tonally, it has some issues. It kind of goes from it's kind of Lovecraftian more than it's science fiction, and it does some of the Lovecraft stuff very well in my opinion, and it's it's got some pretty dark comedy in it, but then it's also got some very kind of personal emotional things. So tonally it can be a little all over the place at times, but I think it's well worth watching. And if you do ever want to see it, there's like 4 or 5 other movies called Residue. So you got to look the 2017 movie Residue. Otherwise, you'll be lost. It's like, what? I thought Residue was in this one. And
what's that name? That title isn't. The title isn't exactly.
And I'm not
exactly enticing.
I don't want to give anything away, but he spends a decent amount of time. He's got a fairly small role. He's not like a main character, but he spends a good chunk of his role in a very interesting state, and that's all I'll say about that.
Awesome. I mean, anything with Matt Frewer, I mean, come on, right?
Yeah. He's so good. Yeah, the comedy is, I think, really well done in that. Annihilation. This movie, I don't know why it didn't do better. I thought it was.
It's a mystery, man. Because I love this movie.
Yeah, I read the book, and this is this takes some big liberties with the book, but it does give the vibe. In the book is it's kind of it's just got this quality of you're not sure what's going on. So I give this guy kudos just for attempting to put this to a cinematic story, because the book is very kind of mystical and magical and kind of hard to pin down. And I thought he delivered a solid story and still gave you that sense of wonder and mystery. It's like, what is this place? What the hell is going on in this place? And for my money, I saw this in the theater.
Same.
That scene where the bear thing comes
Oh,
into the room
yeah.
with the three women tied to the chairs, that is one of the single most intense scenes I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
I
It's
was,
terrifying.
dude, I was
It's
back in the
terrifying.
chair going,
Yeah.
what? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's so terrifying. Yeah. And I'd say, and I don't think it's a bad thing, but it's definitely a movie that I think you need to see more than once
I
to get
agree.
the full, because the first time you're just kind of like, what the, I don't know
Yeah.
if you want me to swear on here, but what the hell did I just see? Right. And, but then the second time you're like, oh, I got to watch it again, because you're like, at the end, you're like, wow, I got to experience this again. And so on the second viewing, I'd say it gets even better, just because you're kind of, now you're like kind of absorbing everything and like, paying a little bit closer attention and stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's great.
Yeah, and perhaps that's one of the reasons why it didn't do so well, because it was kind of hard to get your head around. But I'm
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I left the theater and I was like, wow, that was
Yeah.
really well done. And he goes very different in the the ending of the story than in the book. In the book, it's kind of, you're not quite sure what's going on by the end of the book. And in this one, he has a definite, he leads to something very specific, which I appreciated. I didn't think he was dissing
Yeah.
the book or anything like that. He just put his own spin on it, and did a
And
solid
this
job.
is, yeah, just to remind everyone too, this is Alex Garland, who I love. He's one of my personal just favorite directors right now. So, but yeah, just go see
Yeah,
it.
he's a bit hit or miss for me, but there's another one of his movies that I haven't seen, so I'll watch that one. Civil War, which I guess could be considered a science fiction, right? It's a
I would. I mean,
alternate.
it's more, yeah, it's like post-apocalyptic, I'd say, but it's very well. It's more like what would you call it? Like a not too distant future kind of thing, especially where we are now, politically speaking. But it's definitely not that far fetched.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I'll have to give that one a look see, because yeah, Ex Machina, I liked. I really enjoyed most of it. I thought
yeah,
the way he ended it um, wasn't quite as solid as the rest of it. But yeah, that Ex Machina, yeah, very good, particularly for a small budget. Yeah, very very well done. And yeah,
mhm,
I'm with you on this one. I really really like this movie.
yeah,
Ghost in the Shell. I'm
yeah.
again, I'm puzzled. I'm
Polarizing.
I'm
It's
just puzzled,
polarizing.
right? Like a
Well, I
very
think it's the same
well
thing. It's the same thing you were talking about with like Ender's Game and that thing. I think it's because the anime is so beloved, um, that it was just hard. And then I think, obviously with some of the whitewashing it may or may not have been doing. I'm kind of like, I don't want to get too into it if I get into trouble about talking about certain things, because I love Scarlett Johansson. But I never took the original anime as specifically being um any particular race, and maybe I'm wrong about that, but yeah. But anyway, so I didn't see that as an issue, but and then I honestly loved, like, visually and everything, story wise. I thought it was pretty much the same vibe, so
mhm.
yeah, I don't know what the issue was other than casting maybe, but
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that yeah, the social justice warriors out there getting all hot and bothered because a white woman is playing a Japanese woman from the original, but it can't be that many people. I just don't understand that, again, for people that didn't care about that particular aspect, that aren't necessarily science fiction fans, that have heard of the movie, and it's got Scarlett Johansson, and I mean, visually, it was spectacular.
Yeah.
One of the best depictions of cyberpunk. The whole site, I think they just nailed the cyberpunk look and feel.
Yep.
Just nailed it. I'm surprised there weren't more curious people, and that would go out and see it and then tell their friends, "Hey, yeah, this is a solid movie." It's a mystery to me, because I think this bombed pretty hard.
Pretty hard. Yeah.
It came out and hasn't. I don't know that it's picked up a lot, since it's been on streaming platforms. But
yeah,
if you're in for a really solid science fiction movie, this is one of them. Here's one. I can understand how this movie's a little divisive for people, because the last act does go a little off the rails. But I just thought this was such a compelling story, even though it gets a little nutty towards the end. And the visual storytelling in this is I think is just fantastic. I'm surprised this one it was not well reviewed or seen. Not well watched, well reviewed. I don't get it.
I remember hearing about it and I was interested, but then didn't see it for whatever reason.
Yeah, this is Gore Verbinski.
Yeah, it's Gore Verbinski, which I am into his stuff, but for some reason, I guess after he did Pirates of the Caribbean, I was just kind of like, but I don't know. Like, I think this was just marketed kind of poorly, because I remember seeing some stuff and I was like, I mean, it looks kind of like a creepy. It looked more horror to me, which I'm usually into, but like it was more like a sort of like asylum type stuff is what it looked like to me. So I was kind of like, maybe I'll just pass. But
I recommend it again. I don't want to give anything away, or give any predetermined impressions, but he fumbles the last act. Just brace yourself so that you don't I think a lot of people watched the ending and they thought, what?
Right.
This movie's got more WTF moments in it than about any movie I can think that I've seen in a long time, because there's several times throughout the film you're going, what the fuck? What the hell's going on here? So in a way, this is like, Alfred Hitchcock meets it's definitely worth seeing, even if the ending is a bit fumbled. Definitely worth seeing. And this is the last one for the 2010s. This is Aniara. It's a Dutch, I think it was actually a Dutch-Swedish production.
Okay.
So if you don't like reading subtitles, you're not going to have a good time. But I thought it was pretty solid, and this doesn't give anything away. These people are on essentially turns out to be a generational, ship. They're starting off in one destination. This doesn't spoil anything. Something happens, and then they're stuck until they can reach a habitable planet. So it's going to be generations. And I thought they handled the theme really well. Very, very interesting. It's a little. It gets a little graphic sexually. Some of the scenes are a little bit. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Those Europeans.
Right.
So it could be a little shocking, here and there, but overall, I thought it was really, really solid. I've only seen it once, and it kind of stuck with me. I thought they handled a lot of those things very, very, very well. Definitely worth watching.
Nice.
So,
cool.
Any you can think of before we wrap up?
Yeah, there was one. I don't know if we talked about this before, but Looper. By
yeah. I didn't love it.
Ryan Johnson. Yeah. I thought that was a fairly decent. I'm not a huge, like time travel fan, but I thought it was pretty well done. I saw that one in theaters too, so that one was pretty fun. But again, it didn't do well. I don't think it didn't. It wasn't a huge hit or anything. But I don't know. I thought it was fun, and I liked his earlier film, Brick, which is not a science fiction film, but it's a nice sort of mystery. Almost noirish kind of, but it's set at like a high school. It's a really interesting kind of premise.
Yeah, it's got that vibe. What's the one with Christian?
No, what's his name?
I know what I'm talking about.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah. And it was very, very unique. Yeah, for a very a small budget movie. Yeah, he did a lot with that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I think that's pretty much it for me. A lot of those on your list are ones that I love, and there's other ones, like I said, I've been wanting to see. So, yeah. But who has the time?
It's research, man.
I know, right? If I consider it research, then maybe I can pull it off. Like, I got to do this research right now for 2 hours.
Yeah. And so to cap this off, we can spend a few minutes talking about. I know that you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I really wanted to talk about Revenge of the Sith, especially today, since it's Revenge of the 5th. And we, yesterday was Star Wars Day, and it's the 20th anniversary. The 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith, and my family and I, we just watched it too because they had a short theater run last week for the 20th anniversary. And it was great. Right? And I took my kids to it and they loved it, because they had not, it was before their time. It was kind of cool because it was like similar to me when my dad took me to see in 97 when they did the re-release of it was the special editions. So I didn't get the originals, but it was like that because my dad was always excited. He saw it when he was a kid, obviously. And then, so it was cool for me to see it at its 20th anniversary. And then now I took my kids to see the newer ones at, the 20th anniversary. So I thought that was kind of a cool thing. But yeah, I personally love the movie. I think it's one of my favorites. It's I don't know. How do you
you think it's one of your favorite Star Wars movies?
Oh yeah, favorite Star Wars for sure. And I think it's one of my favorite just movies, but like I'm trying to think of like a movie, especially if you see it in theaters, like a movie that is as good visually, action-wise, story-wise. It just gets your heart pumping, like, and this is maybe just me, but like I was so like it took me back to 20 years ago when I saw it the first time.
Just so I'm crystal clear, is Revenge of the Sith, it's the third, it's the last in the second trilogy?
Yeah, last of the prequels. So it's the one where he becomes Darth Vader.
For a moment I was thinking you were talking about that first one. What was the first of the second trilogy called?
Oh, the Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace, yeah. Whoa.
Yeah, I know how you feel. Okay, it's fine. I actually saw the 25th anniversary of that one last year. So
that
and took the kids to that too.
That I think is not a good movie.
Oh my God.
Visually very, very good. I mean, Natalie Portman comes across like a chunk of wood. His directing of Natalie Portman is criminal. But the third one, I agree, much clearly, hands down, the best of the second trilogy. So I agree. I've been cringing over here, but yeah, I thought it was a solid Star Wars movie for sure.
That's good. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that was it. I mean, I just wanted to talk a little bit about it, and maybe in another 20 years, I don't know if I'll feel the same way. I don't feel the same way about the sequel trilogy, unfortunately, because that's probably coming up pretty soon. I can't believe, because actually the first one, what was it? Force Awakens is at 10 years now. But I don't feel compelled. Yeah. I don't feel compelled to rewatch it.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, the first one, when it came out, it was kind of like, it's Star Wars, and they elevated the thing, and they got somebody that at least knew how to direct. And I thought the first one, what was the first one called of the prequels? Was it Rogue something? No. That was a standalone.
What are you talking about? Oh, you mean like the Force Awakens, like the
Force Awakens,
episode 7? Yeah.
The first one with the Daisy character, right?
Right, Ray. Yeah.
I thought that was it was like, it was okay, but it was like the same story,
Exactly.
And then the second one, oh yeah.
All they did was they basically remade Star Wars and Empire and put it together. That's what they did.
Yeah.
And with a bigger Death Star and all this other stuff. Yeah, I didn't. Also, the thing I was missing is how each one. I mean, you can say what you want about George Lucas, but at least I feel like with each movie, he was at least trying to push technology and innovation, right? Like, what can we do now? What can we see now? And I feel like ever since he's been gone, like, we haven't seen that same level of like, let's see what we can do. You know what I mean? And I get it, like, okay, you're sacrificing this for story or whatever, but like, I don't know. I can't even think of a single memorable thing from the new movies that I'm like, what I mean? Like, it's not, it doesn't have the same impact.
Avatar would be kind of a parallel to that. Yeah. To me,
James Cameron, he still tries to do that, which is cool. I think he's one of the only filmmakers who's really trying to push technology in that way, right? With like, I don't like his movies lately as much, so I don't know.
Well, yeah, to me, it's just been the last one.
Yeah,
his last movie, and I see parallels between James Cameron and George Lucas, and I get concerned that James Cameron is also falling too in love with the technology, and I appreciate the effort of pushing the boundaries of visuals, but it hits a point of diminishing returns when you can, just how far can you push it? And to me, particularly the sequel. Oh, dude, you got to watch it. And I'm just curious if you think it's as bad as I thought it was.
It's I thought it was 3 hours.
I thought it was bad.
Maybe I can watch it on
visually, it was
2 times speed or something.
You watched it and stuff happened, and it's not like it wasn't, enjoyable to watch, but the writing, and again, bringing back that main character. It's like, oh, really? You're gonna? So they did the same movie. They did the same movie without, the beginning part, basically, and it's like, dude, what are you doing? This is how you wanted to follow it. I don't know.
And it took almost 15 years or what? Like, at this point, wasn't it? Yeah, it had to be, because it was 2009 was the first one. Wow. And then this one came out, didn't it just come out last year or what?
Yeah. I think it was last. Right? Is it last summer?
So he was so how long did it take him to? That's crazy. And
Yeah.
it's not even that good. That's sad. But it made bank. I mean, who cares, right? Didn't it make
Well,
over $2 billion?
yeah, I'm really hoping that when he did the sequel, it was kind of like, okay, let's kind of reestablish the world
Hmm.
so that you can get into to the meat of the overarching story. I'm just hoping that's the case because
Maybe.
yeah, I was, man, I was so looking forward to it. I was so excited. I thought James Cameron, man, I mean, he has hardly ever let me down. And this was the first James Cameron movie that I just thought, woo wee, man, you just lost it. You just lost it. Now I'm
Well, good
again,
for you.
I'm hoping he gets it back, and now that he's kind of reestablished the world, he can get into the story proper because there's like
Hmm.
3 more of these things,
Yeah.
at least 2 more, right? I think there's 3 more.
Hmm.
So
And it might take
I'm
him
hoping he's going to do a very
the
epic,
rest of his life. It's
but
going to take him,
thoughtful,
huh?
smart. I'm hoping he goes back to the smart storytelling that he's known for, right?
Right. I
We'll see.
mean, the odds are not, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I mean, it's like,
Yeah, it's still James Cameron,
yeah,
right? So the guy can
but he's
clearly knows how to tell a compelling story. So he's had, to my mind, one really bad slip up. But hey, everybody has a slip up.
I
So
mean, everyone would love that slip up, though. It was
yeah,
it was a
yeah,
slip up that made $2 billion,
yeah.
right?
I
So
don't get.
I'm sure he's not losing sleep over it or anything. But
I don't understand how that was. It was it slightly more popular than the original, or very
yeah,
close at the
it was
least?
on par. I mean, it
It was
was
on par. Yeah, I don't
yeah,
get it. I understand the first one because it was just like, whoa, right? You've never seen anything like this. This was
right.
holy moly. And it was again, very good science fiction story up
Hmm.
until the end, but solid. So I understand this one I don't get. I
Yeah,
don't get because it must have mean people going back to the theater to see it again and again, right?
right.
Otherwise, it couldn't have made those gigantic numbers. And I just don't. And I think it was pretty well reviewed, right? Everybody was just wowed by the visuals.
Yeah,
They're
it
like,
was weird.
dude, this whole movie looks like a cut scene from a video game. You know, I, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch it.
No, you should. No, you got to watch it, dude.
Oh
Because I
man,
mean, are you not? You're not going to watch any more of them? Aren't you
I
curious?
just wasn't. I guess I wasn't like you. Like I appreciate the first one, but like again, I didn't ever rewatch it since it first came out. So by the time he announced the sequel and all this stuff, I was just kind of checked out. Like I didn't really, you know what I mean? Like I'm not looking forward to them. I'll look forward to other James Cameron stuff if he does something, but I don't think he's gonna. I think he may end his life doing Avatar.
Yeah,
Which I mean that's fine, but it just doesn't interest me at this point. I don't know.
yeah. Yeah. I hope. Yeah, I hope he doesn't go out having, yeah, a subpar series that sometimes people, hey, he's James Cameron. He can do whatever the heck he wants, and he's got the ability to do it. So if this is his passion project that he wants to get out, and when it's over, go back into doing something different. I hope he continues beyond this. I'd hate for this to be the last thing James Cameron ever does. Because that would kind
That's
of
true.
taint his reputation in my eyes. Because he's one of the best. He's done some of my favorite science fiction movies of all time.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll see.
But it's
Yeah.
been decades.
It's been a while. It's been a minute.
So yeah. I don't know. I still don't get Titanic, but whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I can understand how people had a problem with it. I personally thought it was quite good. Yeah, not as good as how well it did, but
Right.
still solid. But I'm talking, again, as a very
Same.
hardcore science fiction fan, I appreciate how many good science fiction films that
Right.
he's done and been a part of,
Yeah.
also, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the other one. I don't know if we mentioned was what was it called? Battle Angel Alita, I think.
Oh, Alita Battle Angel. Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't.
That one was pretty okay. I would say it's pretty solid. But he wrote that one and then Robert Rodriguez directed. So kind of an
Yeah,
interesting combo. But yeah,
yeah.
it's worth watching.
I actually am expecting to like it. I'm
I mean, don't go
pretty
in with
sure.
super high expectations. I would say go in kind of
Yeah,
low
yeah.
because
I mean,
I
it's
would say it's on par with, it's definitely not Serenity levels or anything like that. So don't get too excited, but it's
yeah,
on par with, I would say, Ghost in the Shell, maybe a little bit not as good, but still pretty decent.
still pretty decent. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm actually looking forward to seeing it. Every once in a while, I go to, see what if it's come on one of the streaming platforms, and I did hear that they are going to do a sequel.
Oh, okay.
So maybe there's more involved. I've never read the graphic novel, so I don't know. I know very little about the story. I mean, was it a
Yeah.
graphic novel or was
I
it
read it.
anime?
It's a manga technically, but yeah, it was a graphic novel.
But they never
It,
did an anime out of it.
no, it's just a manga. But I saw the movie and then went back and read the manga, and it's actually pretty good. It's very different still, but yeah, I would recommend that.
Oh yeah,
I didn't think they were going to make a sequel because it didn't do
yeah.
that great, but
I think there were enough people that believed in it to uh, do the sequel. I could have that wrong, but I remember distinctly hearing that they were going to do a second film. So I hope they do that. And yeah,
mhm,
maybe the first one will get a little more love if the second one does
yeah,
well, which I think it deserves. I just said, to wrap this up, we're going
I know, right?
time
Sorry.
here, but I
That's the
just
thing. We could just keep yapping, so we got
I
to end it. You got to pull the plug, man.
yeah, I just yeah, I know. I just gotta cut it off, man. Get this guy out of here.
All right.
So Robert Rodriguez, I for the first time I watched the full length version of Planet Terror. Is that what it was
Oh
called?
yeah, yeah.
Planet Terror. I mean,
Hmm.
I saw the Grindhouse film in the theaters, and it
Oh,
had Planet Terror, and then what
right.
was it called, Death Race or whatever,
Death Proof.
Death
Yeah.
Proof, which I really did not like. But I loved Planet Terror. I thought this is
Okay.
great, but it was a lot shorter, right? Because
Right.
they put them both together. So I mean, I'm serious. Like a week ago, I
Hmm.
watched it and I thought, yeah, I want to see that again. And
Oh.
I didn't realize that he had an hour and a half version
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
that
Because if you
wasn't
saw them
part of the
together,
original
yeah,
theatrical release.
right. Yeah, if you
So
saw them theatrically, it's a different version. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, that was yeah. So I
that's cool.
personally hope Robert Rodriguez, gets some more love so he can keep, doing what he wants, because he's
Right.
a director that I really really admire.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's great.
All right, man.
So, all right.
To wrap this up.
Cool.
Yeah, like I said, when the 2020s are all finished, we'll do this again. So we'll do
Another
this again
list.
in 2030. I'll call
I
you
feel like
back.
2020s are looking kind of grim, right? I don't know. In terms of, I can't even think of. Can you think of anything good right now? Good
I
sci-fi.
No, but
Hmm.
to me it seems like it's usually the case where things will pop up that you didn't know somebody was doing.
Mm,
You know,
maybe.
and it's possible that some of them may not be theatrical releases, but somebody will do, a really good version of some, novel on,
Well, I guess for you, like Dune, right? I guess those movies are pretty good, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very much looking forward to how he's going to kind of take the trilogy, the original trilogy, and basically just do the first two books
Yeah.
and see if that's a satisfying conclusion. Um,
Cool.
because yeah, we could talk for another hour and a half about
Yeah.
some of the things I'm hoping he's going to get into that he hasn't in the first couple of movies, like
Right.
some major things that he left out of the book. So I'm hoping that he brings some of that back into it because it'll make more sense for the final installment. But we'll see.
Mm,
I mean, yeah, I have a lot of faith that either way, however he handles it, it's going to be
yeah.
a good movie. I like the first
Right.
two.
Well, he did Blade Runner too, 2049. So
Yeah,
um,
2049. Yeah,
and Arrival, actually. Now that you,
yeah,
yeah, that's right. So hey, he's solid.
yeah. I
I
think
like
he's
him a lot,
got a good
actually.
feel for the science fiction. Yep.
Yep.
All right,
Okay.
man.
Cool.
Appreciate you being on, man.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
be back again when we do some more science fiction talk.
Heck yeah. All right, man.
See ya.
Catch you later. Bye.
Oop, I did.